Groovy. The Evil Dead is a movie that follows 5 people who decide to go out to a cabin very distant, far in the woods, away from society, and the reason they're doing that is because there's this guy who has a sister, and she's a drug addict, so they're taking her out there to detox, and then they find a bunch of stuff in the basement of this cabin. There's a book, there are dead cats hanging from the ceiling, there's a shotgun. And, you know, someone opens it, starts reading the book, and evil things start happening, people get possessed. There's a lot of blood, a lot of dismemberment, this is a movie. Now going into this movie, Evil Dead, the remake, I was really looking forward to it because the trailer looked really cool. It looked gory, it looked intense. I did watch the original Evil Dead a few months ago, I enjoyed that, and I just watched Evil Dead 2 today and I loved it. So I could see that they were going for a much more serious take in this movie, and I completely understand why they would do that. One of my worries though was the trailer showed too much, the Red Band trailer especially, because there were just so many cool shots of gore and bloody violence and stuff like that. I just thought there's no way there could be that much more in the movie that they could be hiding. And coming out of Evil Dead, what did I think? Well, let's start with the acting for a second here, because you have Jane Levy, who is the lead actress. She's the drug addict sister, and I thought she was fantastic in this movie, especially when she gets possessed, and that's not a spoiler, that's in the trailer. She gets possessed, and when she's the deadite version of herself, it is fantastic. She does such a good job of just being possessed, and even when there's more human scenes, when she's just having conversations with people, she's really good in that as well. And she's a character I could really root for and want to survive. I don't really know the rest of the cast. There's this guy with long blonde hair, he's a teacher, and he's the one who really opens up the book and starts reading the stuff. So that was kind of a dumb move, but honestly I thought the actor did really well in this movie. His character is pretty funny throughout the movie. I don't want to say too much because it's just things that happen and it's really funny. But the thing about that is, there's really not that much comedy in this movie. Now once again, I know they were going for a more serious take, but I honestly think this movie could have benefited from a little bit more comedy. Because yes, the Deadites are taunting people and that's pretty funny. There's a few funny lines in the movie, but overall, it just seemed a bit too serious for what this type of movie is. And yeah, it's demonic possession, but it's just really over the top, so you have to have some fun with that. And I feel like the movie was a little bit too serious for its own good. And the score in this movie, I wanted to touch on this because I don't usually talk about in music and movies. I thought it worked really well for this movie. Just every time the music hit or when it hit as something popped up, yes, that's a jump scare essentially, and there are a few jump scares, but they're not overdone or done really poorly, so I didn't mind them. But the music I thought it just set the tone for this movie. It was really creepy. A lot of times it was slow in building. I really enjoyed that aspect. And let's get to the big thing in this movie, the blood and gore and violence. There is a shit ton of it in this movie. This has to be the bloodiest movie I've ever seen. It is brutal, and it is very violent. I don't want to say it's disgusting, because it takes a lot to disgust me, and this didn't do it. But this movie has a lot of genuinely creepy moments that do relate to the gore, and some don't. The way I was going through the movie, about the first hour of the movie, I was enjoying it. It was an above average horror movie, but then once the last 20 or so minutes hit, shit just hits the fan and it gets fucking awesome. That just pushed it, that skyrocketed it up my list. It's so cool to watch these last couple minutes of the movie. It's just so bloody and intense. There is so much blood in that last sequence. Oh my god. And there are a lot of nods to the original movies in this movie. I don't want to give any of them away, but be on the lookout for them because they're there, and it's fun to try and catch them, even though I really haven't seen the originals too many times. But I think if I watch this movie again, I'll catch more as I watch the originals more. Alright, so I had the problem with the over-seriousness of the movie. That was just a minor thing. My main problem, and a lot of people might disagree with me on this, but I really missed the character of Ash, and I get that I would probably trash the actor who actually replaced him and was in this movie, but you don't need Ash, but you need a character like him. There is not a character like him in this movie, and it was kind of disappointing, because Bruce Campbell was fantastic in the Evil Dead movies, and he just brought this type of presence to the screen that I didn't get from any of the characters in this movie. I just really wish there was a character like that I could really latch onto and have fun with. He was insane in those movies. Oh, and stay after the credits because there is something there. It is pretty much pure fan service, but you know what, I was marking out, and as were the people that actually bothered to stay. So it's a cool thing to see. If you haven't seen the other Evil Dead movies, I think you'll probably still recognize it, actually. The Evil Dead, the remake, 2013, whatever, it's an enjoyable movie, definitely. It's an above-average horror movie that has a fantastic finale. It's a little bit over-serious, but, you know, I still really enjoyed it. I really liked the character of Mia, who's the main character. I still wish there was an Ash-type character, but I'm gonna have to let that go. I'm going to give this movie a B+. It's definitely one of the better movies I've seen all year. It's one of the best horror movies I've seen in a long time. Maybe not best, one of the better ones I've seen in a long time, but definitely go out and see it, especially if you're a fan of horror movies or Evil Dead, anything related to that. If you can't stomach gore, do not go see this movie. You'll probably die. So what'd you guys think of Evil Dead? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? What's your favorite of the originals? Right now, mine's Evil Dead 2, but I have not seen Army of Darkness. Write your beautiful comments down there and tell me what you think. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button down there, because if you don't, I'm gonna cut my hand off, attach a chainsaw to it, and, well, you guys know where I'm going with this.